Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the With You for You MSME webinar series presented by Reliance General Insurance and powered by Financial Express Digital as we celebrate the MSME Day. I'm Sandeep Soni, Assistant Editor for the MSME sector at Financial Express Digital, and will be moderating the second webinar of the day, leveraging InsurTech solutions empowering agents to drive insurance penetration. We realize that in today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, technology presents unprecedented opportunities to bridge the insurance gap for SMEs, enabling greater access, efficiency, and tailored solutions. The webinar aims to shed light on the transformative power of digital innovation and its impact on increasing SME insurance penetration in the country. During this webinar, we will delve into the potential of digital technologies to address the unique challenges faced by SMEs in obtaining insurance coverage. We will also discuss how digitization can streamline processes, improve affordability, enhance risk assessment, and empower SMEs with greater control and customization. Moreover, we will also try to explore successful case studies, emerging trends, best practices, and leveraging digital innovation to boost SME insurance penetration. Joining the discussion today, we have three eminent representatives from the insurance broking sector. Please welcome Ashish Jam, who's the Director and Chief Operating Officer at Infin Insurance Broking Private Limited. Ashish was a former Managing Director at LIC of India and has been in the insurance industry since 2003. He has technical skill sets on insurance, both on underwriting and claims. Joining Ashish, we have Kanika Popat, CEO and Principal Officer at Shift Risk Insurance Brokers Limited. Kanika is MBA in finance with more than 15 years of experience and 12 years in the insurance industry. She has transformed the traditional insurance agency business into a well-nurtured broking company focusing in retail, corporate, life insurance products with a vision to have pan-India presence. Next, we have Amit Agarwal. He is a promoter and director, Coastal Insurance Brokers Private Limited. Amit is an MBA from SP Jain University and has experience of 17 years. At Coastal, he has developed a sustainable and dependable model, focusing towards both large and SME clients to provide a holistic insurance coverage. Hello, Ashish. Hi, Kanika. Hi, Amit. Thanks for joining today's webinar.
Hi, Sandeep.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And I'll just make one change. My granddad was a former managing director of LIC, and of course, I come from an enriched legacy. And
Interesting.
It's really nice to be here and in 20 plus years in the industry now. Thank you.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Ashish. Ashish, yeah. So I'll begin with you, and if I may ask you, why do you think the insurance penetration among SMEs, particularly in India, is low, and what are the possible reasons if you can throw light on that to begin with for our audience?
See, if you look at the structuring of MSME business in India, there has been, our industry also, the lack of awareness has been a primary reason. They've been disorganized. It's mainly run by a promoter. It's been, done in a particular way. Unfortunately, over the years, our focus as an industry has been not as high on them as has been on the large corporates. Large corporates we have seen extremely well advised in our insurance sector. But as far as the MSME or the SME sector is concerned, the opportunity is now rising. So I think awareness is going. So, statistics and data. The other day I was reading a report, and data shows that 85% of the MSMEs in India are either uninsured or they are very, very, meagerly insured. So that is the huge potential which, actually lands up for us. And the regulatory figures show that the industry is going to be a premium opportunity, with IRDA tells us 1.5 to 1.8 trillion in this segment. So I think with change in India, with economic growth, our country's growth, I think this is a sector which will really be growing phenomenally.
Kanika, Amit, you have thoughts on this?
Yes. Actually, when we talk about insurance awareness, as rightly said by Ashish, the awareness, to MSME is one aspect, but I think insurance as a subject is, people really don't understand what insurance is. And that is what translates into the MSME sector also. So insurance as a subject, I would say, is taught to only commerce students, even though it applies to everybody from engineering background to science. So somewhere this is a basic aspect which should be taught to all. And only when people understand the importance of insurance, will it translate into MSMEs and other sectors and even personal insurance lines also?
Correct. Okay. Amit, your thoughts?
Yeah, so picking up from what Kanika and Ashish said, right? So lack of awareness, we understand, is the primary reason why people didn't want to do insurance, take insurance. But we need to understand why there was lack of awareness. Why did people didn't feel the need to aware this particular segment who could have given so much of premium to the industry, right?
Correct.
So illiteracy was primarily one of the reasons which Kanika also pointed out in a different way, where insurance has to be a part of the general curriculum of people what they study. But since the priority is not given to insurance in India, the importance of insurance is not understood, right? The overall penetration is low, and MSME in that particular segment is even lower.
Yep.
Right. And if you see that the reason we are discussing MSME today is why? Because MSME have in the last 5-10 years have started become viable for doing insurance also. So
Correct.
earlier, maybe the kind of business they used to run, the scale at which the business of MSME used to be run was not even viable for us to insure, or not profitable
Correct.
for the industry maybe to insure. Now with the scale they have come up to, the kind of margins, the kind of business sectors they have entered into, we would want to look at them and want to insure. So the awareness would now start coming from all the sectors.
But Amit, coming back to you, when you with respect to awareness, do you think digital strategy, digital channel, digital innovation, how do you think digital can play a part in kind of plugging the gap in the MSME insurance? When you talk about penetration level in the sector.
See, anything which you have to do on scale. Now, let's say, let's talk about the difference between an MSME and corporate, how the insurance works here. For corporate, a ticket size of an insurance deal is high. So you can uniquely work on that particular deal, find the premium, give them a process and close a deal, right? It still is viable for the customer and the insurer and the intermediary, everyone. But for MSME, you have to have products which you can sell on scale on, 10,000 policies, 50,000 policies, 2 lakh policies to certain sectors. So the moment you want to scale and, sell this number of policies to any sector, it has to be digitally done. If you are doing it manually, the cost of acquisition will be so high for you. The product itself will not be viable for you.
Correct.
Right? So you have to use digital mediums to create, and India is so large. Everything changes with every 100 or 50 kilometers. Right? And it's not easy for you to capture all those manually, right? And then, make your products and give quotes accordingly. But if you are using a digital platform, if you are going digital, right, you can capture those analytics, you can understand the need of those particular areas more, and you can sell it through digital platforms. And, so the digital would encompass a lot of things. Digital would be
understood.
The way you pay, the way you look at those proposals, the way you reach your customers, right? Everything can be done digitally. Right. So at this scale and with these number of people involved in India, and if you want to reach those rural areas also, you have the only mode today is digital. And with these many smartphones being sold into India, right, that is the best way you find to reach your customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kanika, I'll come to you. Amit talked about the digital tools. Could you throw some light on what kind of tools, what are the, let's say, latest digital tools and platforms, so to say, for insurance distribution, and to engage with customers?
So I think there are various startups who have already started showing up in this space, wherein they are taking one product at a time because it is a very complex industry. And so I think employee benefit, there's a lot of movement happening in the employee benefit space, wherein we cover the GMC and the employee wellness part of it. So we have currently started using a platform called IMT Care, wherein, we have sort of automated digitalize the entire process of onboarding the employees. Because when we look at GMC, the revenue generally is very less and the operational bit is a lot. So it is a very time-consuming process for any intermediary. So in such a space, when the digital partner comes in, it sort of simplifies it, and we are somewhere able to, touch base with the ultimate customer, which is the employee of corporate. So generally, when as an intermediary, we deal with the corporate, we just talk to the corporate and not the employee. But when we are digital, we are able to, simplify the policy features and show it to the ultimate customer who's going to use the policy. And I think that's the game-changing thing in this, because generally the corporate employees also do not know what are the coverages they have in the policy. If you ask them, they are a little clueless. So the digital space is helping us simplify the jargons, helping the customer to understand what insurance is. And this is possible only with tech innovation and a digital platform. The things are changing, but ultimately it's going to take some time. But there is some innovation happening in this space.
Correct. Perhaps that that can also help improve the when we talk about the accessibility question. So Ashish, you agree with the digital mediums can improve
so I
the accessibility?
I agree with what Kanika and Amit have been saying about there are three primary tools which we've seen. One is, of course, that some of the insurance companies who have gone digital have started coming up with issuance of policy as well as claim settlement on a web application. On a mobile application rather, on a mobile thing which you can do. In fact, we saw it happen in crop insurance in a very big way. I'm very honest with you, we are seeing it happening in motor insurance. So these are simplistic products where when we saw this policy issuance and going and a rural customer in AP Telangana during COVID times, and I saw this highest procurement happen at that point of time, wherein they managed to issue the policies on digital means. They paid the premium by Paytms and Google Pay and things of that kind. I'm talking of farmers in AP Telangana. So this is something which was quite stunning when it happened at first phase. So one is that. The second, chatbots are being used. We've got a lot of these web portals wherein comparison of quotes etc. are happening. So digital tools are coming. But the point that I was trying to make was that I have actually witnessed as an intermediary this procurement of business of 32,000 farmers, which we did in peak lockdown. And I'm telling you, at that time, when wave 1 was going on, and that when the Prime Minister announced that whole thing, and the crop season had come in first time. And this is something which I actually saw the real result of how it happened, because nobody could go and give a physical application. Farmers wanted to buy the insurance because crop insurance is seasonal in nature. I've seen what we're talking of, the entire subject of digital. If you see actually resulting, I can say that we witnessed it, and even claims have got settled digitally very well, because all the things are.
But particularly with farmers, how did you engage with them? How do you explain them? The awareness part, the jargon part,
So this is actually very interesting. See, what happens is that all the farmers, were on vernacular modes. Okay, firstly, in rural most parts, AP Telangana, with mainly Telugu is the medium of communication. And so the entire literature given by agriculture insurance company at that point of time when we did the parametric crop insurance was all in the local language. It was sent. They had our teams had complete coordination with the agriculture officers, and their farmer groups. So the entire data would go on to the farmer groups. The education was being done to them. There were all these information coming through WhatsApps, going through. Other than that, there were these digital, information that was being passed on by the government as well. Okay, this is the way it has to be done. And people started paying through Google Pay and Paytm. We were stunned that what is this entire way? And these tools were set up by the insurers. And the interesting part was when he would click, the minute he would pay, he would click and get a certificate of insurance. So normally what would happen, receipting, he's standing in the line, he's going to a bank to pay the money and then getting all that was actually done so well, I can't even tell you. And as I said, the record breaking procurement of insurance business which happened in crop insurance that year. In fact, we got awarded for it at that point of time. So I saw it work flawlessly. And in fact, claim settlement was also fabulous because it was just going straight. See, this Jan Dhan, has resulted in a very, very big way, for the farmer actually getting the money in his bank account, that is something which is really a big push. And thanks to the Modi government for doing it. I mean, I'm not making a political statement, but what I'm saying is that I've actually seen it happen as part of the government initiative,
But apart from the farmers, do you think it can also be implemented with respect to traditional MSMEs, the small manufacturers?
Of course, it can be. I'll be honest with you. There were two other incidents I'll share. One was about claim settlement. A large claim took place in one of the things, one of the customers, very well-known claim in the country, wherein the entire survey was done by drone technology. You see, if loss assessment is being done by drone technology, okay, the drones were sent there at that point of time, nobody could come with the passes on the by before the surveyors reached, the drones were installed, etc. And it was done. So it was really, really very, very helpful. And since we spoke about and how they could get the initial view of what the loss is, where at the location, the affected location, so these are things which are really helpful. Plus, you understand, in claims, what happens, we always want to see what has happened immediately. The cause of loss, is it sabotage? Is it the proximate cause of loss or damage is very important as one of the principles of insurance or claim settlement. Is it a genuine thing? Is it a short circuit? What is the cause of it? So, these are things which can easily be identified with this kind of digital, push that the industry is going through.
Amit, how has been your experience with respect to, MSMEs again?
See, I'll again address this question by coming back to the first question that we need to, the primary reason why we are discussing that, why there's no penetration with MSME is because of lack of awareness.
Correct.
Right. So we'll come back to this question to answer this, that the digital tools which needs to be created today or are being created today are helping us create more and more awareness. Right. Now, if you see, the videos are getting viral. So, people are creating again videos on insurance, which is reaching everyone. Right. There are, as Ashish mentioned, there are chatbots, there are IoTs, right? There are, social medias. Now, as you mentioned, people use Paytm, people use Phone Pay, people use Google Pay. Now, all these aggregators or, web payment, this thing also have insurance as a product. Right. So the awareness is getting more and more created because of, using digital platforms, which are there in the market today. Right. And the government has also, taken the lead in creating that awareness. Government has given free insurances, accident insurances, and the state governments and the central government has given hospitalization free to all these, BPLs and different people. So now people have started understanding and getting claims, which was not the case earlier. So, Ashish spoke maybe 40% of his time on claims, which is actually what needs to be sold, not the policy. The actual product is the claim, not the policy, right?
Yeah.
So if you make people believe that yes, you get claims in India now also, right? Which was earlier कि आप insurance खरीद लो, you will never get claim. Why? Because the terms and conditions are not right, the policy, and the customer doesn't even understand what he's buying.
Correct.
So if that awareness is there, that
insecurity was also there, I think, somewhere among MSMEs.
Come again?
That sense of insecurity was also there, among MSMEs.
Yes, they would feel that they'll pay 100 rupees and they'll not get anything in return.
Correct.
Right. So now they feel that yes, the claims are coming in, they are getting free medical help from the hospitals, so the insurance card which the government has given them. So now the government has taken that lead and showed them, no, boss, this card is worth 3 lakhs. Right? It's just not a promise, it is actually giving you money. So since that awareness is coming, people have started believing into the digital platforms also and started buying insurances through these platforms. Right. So everything and anything as a platform now today can be used to promote insurance, and it is being promoted.
The other interesting aspect, Amit, again, so when you talk about technology, we also today, talk about immersive technology, deep technologies, AI, ML, big data, blockchain, so on and so forth. Particularly with respect to MSME insurance penetration, how you think AI, ML, data analytics can play or perhaps are playing a role in helping insurance underwriters assess, the risk involved, Amit?
See, data analytics will only help us understand what the customer wants, right? Till the time you don't even know what your consumer is wanting, you will create a standard product and you cannot take that product to the entire India.
Correct.
Right? People will perceive insurance in different ways in different states, right? So you have to understand what that person wants, what that, more than I would say customer friendly, it has to be local friendly. The people need to understand what they're buying and is it actually used to them or not. The risk appetite of different people are very different. In North, you will have people taking larger risk, maybe, right? So, if you go down South, people may be a bit more, they want to be more secure, they want to buy more insurance. In Bombay, maybe people would want to pay more for certain policies and, different state, they'll want to pay less against certain policies for the same risk even, right? The income of different states are different, right? So data analytics can only help you, capture all these variables, put it into a system, find what your customer needs, and then start throwing out policies which is uniquely designed to different MSMEs, not only MSMEs, to different locations as well. within the same MSMEs. So a shopkeeper in Calcutta would want to buy a different policy than a similar shopkeeper maybe in Karnataka. Right? And it is not possible for you to manually understand this, capture this, analyze this, and then come up with a solution. So digital analytics, not only into insurance, you will have to be understand in every field today. That is the only way forward.
How have you applied it in your business, and what kind of outcomes you have seen?
See, I'll give you very small examples, very small examples to understand this. Right. So when we used to go back to the insurance companies, they're saying ki, your service is not good. Right. And they would know, no, sir, we'll improve our service. Now, this is very subjective. Right. The moment you add a very small business analytics to it, right? So, we all use a certain software to run our operations. And then we started selling them analytics that this is when my policy was logged in. This is when your policy has come to us, right? And the system gives that to you. You just have to add certain features to it, right? So the moment we give that, we go back to the insurance company, say that your average time of issuing policy is 6 days, which actually is supposed to be 3 days. So that has led to improvement in, issuing policies faster. Right. When we used to do a customer called Meru, right? Now we found that certainly the Hyderabad claim ratio has gone for a toss. Now data analytics only, and पहले हम लोग सोचते थे चलो ठीक है, we are buying insurance. Overall Meru has they are in 10 different states, so we used to see overall. When you come to data analytics, you have to go very specific on everything.
Correct.
We found through data analytics that there is a specific bumper which is being created in that Hyderabad city in different locations, because of which the underbelly of the car is getting hit every time the car crosses it. Right.
True.
And that is the only reason the claim ratios have gone up. So we could tell those customers to, the drivers to avoid it. Because the claim ratios went down, because of the pricing also went down. So, if you get actually into data analytics, it shows very interesting facts. And not only the larger scale, on a very smaller scales also.
Very interesting. Kanika, do you think these solutions can be applied to customizing, the insurance solutions for small businesses, saturizing, if I may say so, unique solutions, particularly for small businesses, to obviously increase the penetration among the sector?
So Sandeep, basically we have to understand that small businesses are run very differently from, larger businesses. When it comes to small businesses, there's a single person probably taking care of multiple departments, taking decisions. So there is always constraint of time and finance also. So when you talk of customized solutions, it can definitely help MSMEs in terms there can be bundled products wherein various aspects of the business can be covered, which would make the risk also better for the insurer. And it would, reduce the bandwidth consumed by the entrepreneur who is actually running the business, because he would probably have just one single day wherein he can, analyze his entire insurance portfolio in terms of the various aspects where he needs insurance in terms of fire, marine, liability, GMC. Probably a bundled product can be created for for MSMEs, where there can be a price advantage which can be passed on to them, which can help further in increasing the penetration.
Okay, Amit, do you think how we can price such solutions?
See, when you talk about creating unique solutions, right, for those customers, one thing which happens is, so you buy a cup which is, let's say, 100 rupees. The moment you write your name onto it, the cup becomes 150 rupees, right? So the moment you design anything uniquely, the price goes up. At least the perceived price value of that particular product goes up. Right? So if through this digitalization, if you're able to uniquely design products for your customers, the perceived value of that product will go up in the mind of the consumer, and they would be more willing to buy those customers, right? Because they feel that it is actually made for me, right? And if you're pricing it right, they will feel that 200 rupees product is, they're able to buy it at 100 rupees. Right? So it is definitely possible for us, and Indian market is not in very nascent stage, right? It is in a very fast growing stage today. The insurance companies are using strong tech platforms to even underwrite day-to-day smaller policies also. So it is very, very much possible today that we design products based on what the customer need, and so that if you give what they want, again coming back to the claims part, it's easy for you to settle claims.
Right. But Ashish,
because
like you said,
covered what the risk they wanted to cover.
Absolutely. And Ashish, like what Amit said, knowing what MSME customers need, probably, we can devise the solutions. How do you get to know, what MSMEs need based on which, you can customize such solution? Some examples, some anecdotes if you can share.
See, what Amit and Kanika have been saying about, about customization, and, we've been hearing all this about data analytics, etc. I'm in agreement with them that, okay, the MSME customer or the SME customer, has a specific need. And
Correct.
based upon that need, two things is, we've seen product simplification. Now, first time our industry has realized that simplification of products has to happen. See, the government push that happened, was introduction of 3 simplified products, one was a Bharat Laghu Sukshma, okay, Graha Raksha. And when these policies, came into place, they were specifically designed for the MSME sector. They've already tried to simplify this under the push of the regulator during COVID times. When all the relaxations came in for the MSME, at that point of time, if you recollect, this relaxation also came, which is actually being used very well by our industry. So the idea was to see that, data is something which is extremely sensitive in insurance industry. All actuarial rating, how do you define a premium? How do you price a product? It is only historic data. Accuracy of data is something which can be brought in by artificial intelligence. It can be brought into better tools, etc. Whether it is, data being used by not only direct insurers, but ultimately direct insurers receive capacity from reinsurers. So reinsurers worldwide have started developing the, methods to rely on data analytics. All historical actuarial rating, who is a person who rates premium structures for insurance companies, are actuaries. Actuaries have to rely on historic data. That is a fundamental of underwriting of any kind of business in India, or worldwide, rather, on insurance. So now what we are doing here is that government, of course, has taken initiative of these, like for housing societies, they came up with Graha Raksha. We saw that the premiums went down substantially. Very honestly, they went down to about 25-30% of the premiums that were being charged previously to people.
Okay.
So the simplification, the deductibles came down, the way in which the policy wordings are drafted are very friendly to the customer. There's going to be ease in maintenance of business, of documentation, etc. on claims. So when you read the conditions of these policies, the attempt is, yes, to move towards product innovation, towards lowering the prices and make it more insurable. And third, very big devil in our market that is there is underinsurance. So try and address it in what possible way. So basically, these products are there. I'll tell you, about 15 years ago, I had heard the former CMD of New India Assurance speak that, we are going by such archive historic methods of, outdated British policies drafted in, pre-independence in home insurance. So this is something which was there at that point of time. But today I'm seeing there's a big change. We are seeing the newer companies. Our regulator has really pushed something called sandbox, that please come in and start filing.
Experiment.
Yes, start filing new products. Why are they saying that? The idea is only so that people come up with newer products, newer methods, and we are seeing that trying to create these umbrella policies. So what is the need? It is to see that his asset is protected. It is to see employees are protected. It is to see that no legal liability is hit. See, everybody is talking of only price, but do you know the implication that man will be totally out of business if there is a large loss? A large corporate will still have its reserves, investments, etc. But if MSME is hit by a claim and the insurer is and he is trapped into this technical jargon, he will be completely out of business, and it will create an employment crisis for him. Plus, there will be liabilities. So for him, it is very, very sensitive. The products are designed in a way which are simplistic. The response time is very fast. The claim, outgo is very fast for them, etc. So this is something which I'm seeing is happening in the industry, but yet a lot yet needs to be done.
For one example, if you can give for MSMEs.
I talked about Bharat Laghu Sukshma. That's there. I'm talking of some of the insurance companies have come up with a new product yesterday, which I heard. It's called property all risk insurance. Okay, this is so Bharat Laghu Sukshma, our policies, Laghu policies are basically for some insured below 50 crores.
Correct.
Up to 50 crores, they've come up with property insurance. Basically, trying to say that if you want to take loss of profit, business interruption, these are things which people don't know. Forget the customer knowing. There is lack of knowledge in the intermediary segment in these specialist products because they were offered earlier only to large corporates. So pushing them that, okay, this is supposing a fire takes place, how would you be able to compensate for your standing charges, your taxes, your labor, your salaries, your running costs, etc. So this is all started. So these are new products which are already there in the. There is also something called the OPD card, like for example, health insurance has pushed up a new thing. So this is again for very beneficial for people. We till now know historically only insurance we've got hospitalization cover. But some of the insurance companies have come up with these outpatient covers. These are all new things which are very useful to the MSME space.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
See, I just remembered one incident, right? So Ashish mentioned a lot of claims doesn't get paid because the jargons are there, right? So if you remember, there was a movie which recently came out 2-3-4 years back. Oh my God, where Paresh Rawal was there. Right, so his shop is hit and he doesn't get a claim because the earthquake was not covered in his policy. Right now, when this Lazmo Shukshma, maybe they've taken a hint from that movie, and what they've done is they've made earthquake as a mandatory insurance in all their policies. You cannot omit the intermediary to reduce the premium, cannot omit the cover even if he wants to. Right, so they made it standard so that the MSC not taken it for a ride. The intermediary just for the sake of showing a lesser premium doesn't omit the necessary coverages from it. Right, so we are we are addressing the issues. And how did it come? Maybe the people would have seen that a lot of policies are issued without earthquake, without STFI, and the claims are not being paid. So the government said, okay, let's standardize it. Let's make sure that these coverages are there.
Sure. Ashish, I'll come back to you. When we were talking about these claims processes and settlement, what do you see any challenges in both, and how this digitization can kind of address if there's any challenge you see in entire claim process and settlement process for small businesses?
I'll give you a little bit of a background before I actually answer this question.
Yeah.
See, where is India right now as far as insurance? If you take our GDP, okay, right now, where are we as an economy? We see ourselves as number 5. We are the fifth economy, right? And sometime we are expecting to take over Germany also, right? We're going to go to number 4, number 3. We're going to keep moving upwards. In insurance, where are we? We are 15, 20. As far as the top aspects are concerned. So there is a large room to cover as far as insurance is concerned. The claim settlement part, I'll tell you what we are actually intending to go, and our industry, even I'll tell you, this has been talked in our general insurance industry at both the GI Council level as well as the with the direct insurers whom we've been dealing with. Also, the reinsurers are heavily involved in the discussion. See, there is a company by the name of Lemonade. I'll tell you in the European market, they have come up with a formula that you click a picture of a car, motor insurance. So this can be done in simple products very easily. A motor insurance, you have a damage to the vehicle, you click a picture, boop, it goes, and the assessment will come immediately on your mobile. And if you say, yes, this is the amount you pay, the amount gets credited in your bank account.
How much time that takes?
So right now they've come up with a challenge that we settle claims in 2 seconds. Okay, 2 may be ambitious, but even if they do it in 2 minutes, basically 2 seconds.
That's also ambitious.
Even if they do it in 2 minutes or 10 minutes, I think it's fabulous because this shows that the assessment comes. Plus, they take the responsibility of the vehicle being sent to the garage, etc., the towing aspects. Supposing your car is broken down on the road, this is something which can happen with motor own damage. Of course, for third-party liability and other things, this cannot work because there is a statute in it under the Motor Vehicles Act 1988. So we have various provisions in law. It is something which is different. But as far as this is concerned, just a small example of what can happen. Second part, I'll tell you about digital intervention on how claims can improve in crop insurance. Why I'm coming to crop again. See, India is largely an agrarian economy. And we have somewhere or the other not taken enough care of our farmer on the ground. So today, how the assessment is happening, technology is actually mapping the exact, not earlier they would take a area-based approach. Now you can even map the particular spot or the particular piece of land where the loss may have occurred. In parametric, okay, the threshold is a certain level of rain or rainfall or aspects like that. And okay, this has that many rain been recorded on this particular piece of land, and should the claim be tenable? If it is tenable, how much it is, and here, boop, you get your claim. This is where India has already moved. So, in some of these cases and some places where we are moving. So in crop, we are seeing that movement has happened as far as parametric insurance is concerned. Another aspect of digital, I'll tell you, in COVID times, we saw that, IRDAI, insurance regulator, had issued a circular which said that you could even, settle the claims. You did not need to, because people couldn't physically, take their claims for reimbursement and submit it. It was allowed that you could, give photocopies and, copies, rather, digital uploads, and you can, settle it. And the claims can be settled digitally without physical movement of paper. If that is what could have happened, and in a country where there is so much of literacy rates are low, etc., and what Amit also mentioned, the government is pushing all these, health insurance schemes. You have the Ayushman Bharat, where the scheme is pretty successful. A person knows he's got a 5 lakh rupee insurance cover because it has worked. It has shown its cashless deliverables. It has shown its, aspects of working. And every day, I think industry is moving more and more toward digital. And ultimately, like any other service industry, government pushes toward digital India. That is really, really helping us, as an industry.
Very interesting. Kanika, I'll come to, you touched upon the startup bit. If you can elaborate a little bit more on, how these tech startups, insurance technology businesses can, what role they can play, in this entire issue of MSME insurance penetration through tie-ups, collaborations. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So Sandeep, if we see the fintech space, we have seen how banking and finance is to a great extent revolutionized after the UPI and the GPay which we have. Now we see every little vendor sitting on the street asking to do a GPay payment. Nobody wants to take a 500 and a 2,000 rupee note. But similarly, the insurtechs will help us simplify the products, wherein people would sort of understand what the coverages are. Currently, if we look at the motor policies, people go to Policy Bazaar, they check the coverages, they see the price. They may ultimately buy from their own intermediary only. But somewhere when they are going on these digital platforms, they are understanding what the coverages are. They would do a few permutation combination. They would understand what a particular coverage would approximately cost them. They would try and understand the risk a lot more. And I think that is important when people start getting interested in what insurance is and how it can impact their business and their lives. Secondly, when we talk of collaboration, tech is a very expensive, place to put your money in. And for intermediaries also, we cannot keep spending in, developing tech for, say, GMC, for fire, because you have these various specific APIs which have to be consumed for every single product, which is a very expensive and time-consuming affair. So it is, I think, best left to the startups or the tech guys who can actually take it up. And then probably collaboration would be the way forward, wherein we pick and choose what best features we want and, sort of make it a little more robust.
Interesting. Okay. Amit, when you talk about in this entire topic around, digitization, do you see any initiatives that, perhaps can be taken or are being taken to increase this overall problem of lack of awareness about insurance adoption and, financial literacy among small businesses?
See, this is related to your last question, right? Why? Because these new companies which are coming in, these startups which are coming in, right? They are doing what is necessary in the market today. They are giving these old guys a run for their money, right? they are making tech so affordable, right? They are making the distribution channel so robust, right? They are reaching where the larger insurance companies have not been able to reach in the last maybe 75 years, right?
Would you call them disruptive?
Definitely, yes. And, disruption is needed. And with the kind of population we have, without a disruptive technology, you cannot, look forward to reach these many people quickly. You can always look at a 10% growth or a 5% penetration increment every year. That is not going to suffice, right? The penetration is so low. The MSME penetration, if I'm not wrong, is around 15% in India. Right? So let's understand the amount of scope which you have. So without disruption, you don't see that you will be able to reach a 70, 80, 90% in the next 5 years. Right? So these fintechs and these companies are coming up with models which I think will definitely increase the penetration and the speed at which we are taking insurance to MSMEs.
But do you think collaboration is the way, or because these startups are way too disruptive to do everything on their own?
See, collaborations will be the call of the day, right? India being so large, right? Reliance is created once, Tata is created once. It's difficult, very difficult to create this kind of legacies again in today's market with the kind of competition in the world which we live in today, right? So collaboration has to be the name of the game. So everyone will have to collaborate with the local players. Even if the new insurance companies which are coming in India, they are not very large insurance companies. The new license which have been given are very localized. So there is a small insurance company comes who says, "Boss, I will do only crop insurance only in Maharashtra." Let's say. What even brokers, intermediaries, insurance companies are doing is they're finding out local markets, specific markets, and they're building their ecosystem to cater to those particular market. So that will definitely the consumer will be benefited out of it. So there's a collaboration of an existing intermediary. Let's say Ashish is very strong into doing a crop insurance. So Ashish will tie up with certain more people in certain areas where he get very faster penetration. Otherwise, he'll take 5 years to develop something, understand the market, and maybe reach there. So if he collaborates with someone, he reaches there very fast. Right. So anyone who is wanting to get into MSME insurance has to collaborate with local people who understand the market, bring in tech, bringing social media to create awareness, and that pool can only lead you to success.
One example, if you can give of something that you have also done in business, or probably working with these startups, or if at all anything that you're looking at. Few examples in what areas, how we can do this. Let's say
the insurance companies and the new intermediaries who are tech based have come together, right? Let's say has created a platform which is integrated with the new brokers software, wherein let's say POS has been started by with all the insurance companies, right? So I can appoint a point of sale in a very rural market who understand the local market, who can book the policy immediately on website which is linked to my website, right? And give the document there immediately the moment he makes the payment. So the customer gets a confidence that whatever is done is genuine. He will not run away with his money. Right. So the existing insurance companies are creating platforms, giving it to us, and we are also investing money to create, where we can attach our platforms with their platforms and go to the rural market. Because without tech, without pulling in those local people, the cost is. I cannot office. Indian intermediary today cannot think of opening 100 offices suddenly in the next 1 year across the India. So he has to have collaborations to reach that kind of a market.
Right. Ashish, I'll come back to you again on, I think regulations, policies play a critical role, in this entire subject of penetration. How do you think such policies, regulations can help, digital innovation insurance?
The government's push on digital has been very high, as I mentioned, and the insurance regulator for the first time has put up a self-assigned target to the industry. And they said that we as a regulator must see that every Indian should be insured by 2047. Okay, that is something which not I am saying. This is what the IRDA has officially said, and based on this, the official targets were given to the insurance companies first time in India. So the present regulator has done a very, very good job. They are, have brought in a lot of positivity, have brought in a lot of changes, a lot of different thought, which was not there earlier. Now, Amit spoke about localizing insurance or local insurance companies or smaller players, etc. See, today you look at any market, a mature market, okay, they've got hundreds of insurance companies. In India, we've got about 30, 34, 35 players in the general insurance, and likewise a similar space. So about 60, 70 companies are there. And look at the strength of India and its reach, such a massive nation. So yes, that is one thing which is happening, that all the rules, regulations are being relaxed. The amendments to the acts have been proposed. Okay, whether the amendment to the IRD Act, the Insurance Act has been proposed. It is being discussed. Various committees have been found by the Government of India, by the IRDA to study it, and they are working very closely with the Ministry of Finance in this regard. We are seeing product, as far as product is concerned, the IRDA chairman is very, very clear in his mind, because we've heard him speak at various industry forums that ease of business is something which we want. They are very much the insurance regulations. Historically, the last 10 years, if you see, of India have been the start of the golden period of insurance. We had moved from 26% FDI to 49% FDI in 2014. That was this government's first change when they came into power. From 2000, from 49%, it has now moved to 74% for insurance companies and 100% for insurance intermediaries. That's a very, very big change as far as which is happening on the Indian insurance space. And this is just the beginning. what we've been saying at whether it is at the GI Council level, whether all industry experts, we are saying this is just the beginning of a boom of the revolution. Very honestly, I'll tell you about general insurance industry, how the regulations are helping us, increase. I'll share some statistics. When I started my career in the year 2003-4, and about 5-6, I remember year 2005-6, the general insurance industry was 10,000 crores.
Okay.
In 16-17, we were told that if it becomes 1 lakh crore, okay, we used to wonder whether it can actually happen. We were at 95,000 crores.
Okay.
Today, okay, we have crossed 2 lakh crore. We are about 2 lakh 20, 2 lakh 30,000 crore. Now, the McKinsey report and all reports submitted by E&Y and other research agencies have suggested that India will have, from this 2 lakh crore, we are going to go to 7 lakh crore in the next 5 years. Right, by 2030, at least we'll be there. 5 to 7 years we'll be there. IRDA first time has given targets to insurance companies. And you have to penetrate and procure this much. The target is not only for public sector, has been predominant to the private sector also. Because we are opening up doors, whether it is on products, the government says, the regulator says on aspects of filing, of compliance. They have relaxed a lot of things which were there. We're talking of, for intermediaries, we're talking of a perpetual license, which was not something which was there in our thought process earlier. So objective is to see, we're talking of MGS to be brought into India. This as far as yesterday. We're talking of dematerializing all the policies which are there in physical format right now. So this is all DG lockers is what we are talking. Government push is going on cybersecurity. You'll be surprised to see the new things that have come on cybersecurity, that they want not only the intermediaries to be active about, but the general populace, how it can take advantage. And the banks especially, they've more sensitively done cybercrime and crime insurances as compulsory. So all these aspects are showing that we are making insurance more as a part of the ecosystem and going away from the age-old concept that insurance policy to leni hai because aapko bank policy mang raha hai. So, that is something where we are actually seeing regulations are really being
great. Kanika, Ashish also, touched upon, the intermediary part. So I'll ask a little broader question. Why, for our audience, why do you think MSME insurance is a very booming opportunity for intermediary?
Sandeep, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm saying why MSME insurance do you think is a booming opportunity for the intermediaries?
So Sandeep, basically MSMEs are largely underinsured because they've been only buying insurances, as Ashish rightly said, only because the bank asks for it, which is actually a fact. So people take insurance because the bank wouldn't give them a loan if they do not have an insurance. So that is the only push they have right now. So that's when we talk about insurance, insurance awareness. I think it all is coming in a circle that awareness has to increase, and the scope definitely is a lot. Going back to the point where we were talking about the regulators push for digital innovation, I just wanted to add a point. So IRDA has set up a committee with all the insurtech startups, whereby they are having monthly meetings with the startup co-founders to work collectively on the digital space. I think which is a great initiative, because otherwise the startups would be working on some direction and the regulator would be driving the industry in something else. So here they're coming on one page, having monthly meetings to develop, to monitor the developments that are happening in the digital space.
Interesting. I think we'll be running out of time in a few minutes, I think 1 or 2 minutes. Last question to you, Amit, particularly around, the future trends and prospects. What are the future trends, what are the future areas, prospects that intermediary particularly, should be aware of to stay competitive and continue?
The intermediary will have two choices, right? Tech is coming and it's coming very fast, right? We are even started talking about the nuances of tech, not only the benefits of tech. That is how far the tech is coming. The countries have started deciding whether AI should be implemented in their countries or not. They should allow chatbot to operate in their countries or not, right? So whether you like it or you don't like it, tech is coming and it is right there in your face. You can close your eyes, you can say it is not there. I'll keep running the business in the old ways I was running, and I'll still do very good. You may do very good maybe for a short term, but if you're a longer player and if you're customer oriented, you have to look at tech. You have to understand how tech works. You have to understand how to use those tech for betterment of your customer. You have to do away with the jargons which is there into insurance. You have to simplify their product. You have to bring in simplicity in everything, in the way you design a product, in the way you present a product, in the way you create a distribution channel to reach your customer, in the way you settle your claims. So tech will be there in every aspect of your life, right? And it is not just one or two things you have to do to still become relevant in future. Because as I said, future is going to be tech. Because whether it is the large customers which are being driven manually today, there will be disruption, and new things will come up, wherein even the larger customers which needs unique solutions will also come through AI. So when we say tech, we mean maybe a health policy or a motor policy. But with AI coming in, even unique solutions will start coming for larger customers through that. Right. So if people are wanting to be in this industry for long, they're wanting to come into this industry, they have to prepare themselves and become customer oriented, invest into their platforms, collaborate with people who have these platforms, propose, do R&D, spend some money in understanding how tech can be used in different sectors in which they are. Otherwise, they'll become irrelevant, they'll become obsolete. And if larger companies, like I remember there was a mobile company called BlackBerry which we all used to use. How fast that went away. Nokia, the largest company, it went away. Right. When Uber came in, today you book a Uber from maybe Noida to anywhere, you would have paid 200 rupees before it came in. Today you are willing to pay that 700 rupees also. Right. So they change the culture of that particular industry. So tech will also do the same for us. It will change the way, insurance is being thought by the consumers. That is how awareness, that is what awareness will do for you. So we have to be prepared for it, right? And I think we all are doing our necessary part in, doing that role in creating and reaching more and more customers. And it is not only one thing which can help us achieve it, whether it is, we were talking about tech and into insurance. It is not only about tech and insurance. It is about the complete ecosystem being built for us to, attain what we want.
Correct. Interesting. I think those were some really, really insightful discussions we had today, especially on the innovations part, the regulatory part. Ashish touched upon it significantly. The opportunity, the technology part. Kanika also talked about how it can help intermediaries, reach out to more SMEs and adopt insurance. I think the MSME audience will really benefit from it. I thank you once again, Ashish, Kanika, Amit, for joining us today. It was lovely having you today. Thanks a lot for joining the discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Goodbye.